So I'm here on one of my old YouTube videos, and I suppose I want to just ramble and talk a little bit about how I got into Helldivers and where I think it's headed and how I actually feel about the game. Because there are a lot of people who do come into YouTube comments and they are very positive. They're like, it's cool that you're playing the game just to have fun. It's cool that you're not bitching about the game the whole time. And that's on purpose. I don't like to sit there and complain the whole time I'm playing. And I stopped being friends with some of my older friends because they didn't like the game or want to give it a shot. Now, for those who know me from a very, very long time ago, multiple years back, I played PlanetSide for about 10 years. I did YouTube for it for about 6 or 7. And it was how I built all my subscriber base for YouTube. And anything else I ever posted never did too good. I mean, right now, obviously, I'm doing Helldivers. I don't play PlanetSide. I've quit that game many years ago. But a comment and a statement I made when I was playing Helldivers and PlanetSide back when they were both out around the same time, with PlanetSide coming out in 2012 and Helldivers coming out in 2015, I think, on Steam, uh, was that there's two games that made me feel like I was a bigger part of something, and it was Helldivers, one really did, PlanetSide really did. I played only about 200 hours of Helldivers. I did not reach level cap because it was super grindy. It was insanely grindy for the level cap, but I did unlock everything. I did buy all the DLCs. When it came out on Steam, it came out with all the DLC weapons. Now, the balance of the first game was all over the place. What I'm running in this mission here, this is my video Helldivers difficulty 13 tryharding, which 13 was added later in the game. Originally it was 1 to 12, 12 being Helldive, then they added 13, 14, 15 later. Kind of similar to Helldivers 2 adding difficulty 10. I'm using the Rumbler on my back here, and it was a self-mortar tube. Think like the Quasar from Helldivers 2, except it's explosive, AoE, and does toxic damage over time. It was pretty OP, and it was a paid-for DLC. This time around, you can earn all these things. In Helldivers 1, those DLCs were not earnable. You would never be able to get that weapon that's on my character's back, and I don't like that system. I feel like that's marginally pay to win. There's a lot of equipment. And I understand they have to make money somehow for the game. Being a twin-stick shooter with not much doing it other than the toys you play with, they needed to make money from the new toys they're adding, because they're adding more stuff post-launch. And they added a lot and did updates for a long time to the first game. Enough to the point where, before they even announced that they were working on Helldivers 2, which I didn't know, no one really knew. They were very secretive and very quiet. I would pop into Arrowhead's website going, what is this company doing? What are they making? Come on, man. Are they going to make a sequel? What's going on? And I checked Arrowhead's website all the way up until 2020 when they announced a third-person AAA cooperative shooter that they were going to release. I knew it was Helldivers 2. I knew. In the back of my head, I'm like, that's definitely Helldivers 2. Because they've made Magicka, and they made Magicka Vietnam, which kind of rolled into what Helldivers 1 was. Magicka was like a mage game where you used essentially stratagem codes to cast spells. You had different spells, and they had different combos. And then they added guns to it as a joke update of some sort, or a joke DLC, and then people realized this is a lot more fun than the mage game. We should stick with this. Thus, Helldivers 1 was born. Coming up to the launch of Helldivers 2, I had quit PlanetSide. I was playing with what I would call my second iteration of Casual Army, the PlanetSide outfit I played in. I had disowned everybody except for a couple friends, and those who know the channel from back then, you would know Rob and Shraz. Two of my right-hand guys in PlanetSide. They did not care for Helldivers 2. I was pretty frustrated. I was pretty upset. They were super negative, super toxic. Like the bulk of people who like to complain about the game. Very, very normie responses. They're not giving Arrowhead a chance to fix their game and to move forward. Instead, just vehemently mad about it. So it was very tough to play with them. So eventually, I stopped playing a little bit. I ended up playing things like Valheim and Zomboid with them, which are games, arguably, I really do like Valheim in a group setting, and I really do like playing Zomboid. I even posted a whole Zomboid series in my playlist. So I kind of went away from that friend group, and due to some personal issues, because I invited somebody I was dating into a personal Discord and caused some drama there, I kind of bounced out. I bounced out, and I got rid of every online friend I had. I started over, and that's the first time I've done that. I've had a gaming group since 2012. I had been in gaming groups where I was always the leader of the Discord, or I was the leader of the PlanetSide outfit. and I went away from people for a while. And I continued to play Helldivers. It continued to be my escape, continued to be the thing that I did. The people who were watching when there wasn't very many views, I'm talking about videos getting like sub 200 views. I'm still posting every day since launch. Still posting almost every day. I skip some days here and there, but I'm still playing and posting all the time. Uh, Eventually, I fixed my head a little bit. I did meet a girl temporarily that did not work out over about like 5 month span. Kind of a situationship deal, but I got my head straight with that person, and not with them anymore. But I learned some shit about myself, and I felt socially fine enough to recruit people. So I have been and will be accepting people into my Discord. If you leave a comment that you want to play, then I will say add me on Discord. It's my same name, Doom721. It is my same name on Steam. It's my same name on Discord. I'm primarily looking for people on PC with workable mics. I know it's a low point right now because it's after Arrowhead's summer vacation and there's not a lot going on. We're kind of waiting for an update. But I will always be in the mentality of giving people a shot to play in a group. And I am picky, though, because, like I said, I got to record. I'm the one with the camera in my hand here, and it's tough to get along with people socially. And with Helldivers 2, it's got a way tighter group because it's only a 4-player game. I don't need numbers like PlanetSide. I would recruit people because I would want to have a 12-man squad. But in Helldivers, you don't need 12 people. Somebody's getting left out or you're playing multiple matches. With varying schedules, I'll keep bringing people in so that I can try and get those 3-4-player matches that everybody wants to see that kind of exploded in my channel recently. So, I want to talk about the things that, obviously, I love Helldivers 2. I love the gameplay of it. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the lore. I like how it's so casual, and I just want more. I just want more to do. I want more things to do. I want more things to grind. I want more levels. If there's anything to progress in, I'm going to be in the game. The second I run out of stuff to do, I'm like, man, I just wish I had more to do. So I really hope they implement a platoon or clan system. I really hope they introduce some sample requisition or medal dumps. They can't do super credit dumps because that's paid money, so it wouldn't make any sense. I hope they add more to the mech stuff. I've heard some rumors from Pildastat's conversation on the Discord that there's potentially, some more ideas they've been throwing around, like maybe some sort of POI that might rearm mechs on the map, something akin to that. Don't quote me on it. That stuff could be found in the official Helldivers subreddit as a sticky post currently at the time of me recording this. Basically, I'm trying to think, where am I at here? Game comes out, it's clusterfuck. They anticipated 45,000 or so players, I'm assuming, and people couldn't get in. And the population numbers looked bigger than they were. This is one of the things people don't talk about, is you couldn't get into the game, so you had to leave the game on. So those numbers were inflated even higher than what they actually should have been, because there's at least 50 to 100,000 clients of people that just leave their client on in the event that the auth server lets them in. So those peak numbers were even inflated higher, and they were going to stay consistent like that because people couldn't play and they wanted to. And they wanted to play because it's a fun game. It's a fun game, it's new, it's interesting. People hadn't seen what Helldivers was about. I had seen what it's about. I played Helldivers 1. I played it extensively. I unlocked everything in the game. I upgraded all my stratagems and weapons to max. Weapon upgrades were a thing in the first game, too. So, once they settled the server stuff, they started getting people in. There's a few missteps Arrowhead made, and I will be very clear about it, and I'll try not to totally badmouth them, because it looks like they're trying to improve on these things. The first was Discord. Discord had unpaid volunteer moderators with big mouths. And they also had really bad PR in the sense that they didn't have control over who was saying what in their Discord, and they were allowing random developers to say whatever they wanted. Now, me understanding that there's a game being developed by multiple people of multiple personalities, of multiple opinions, and multiple ways of speaking, you're going to get stuff that you don't like. Not every coder and game developer is a nice person. They might be good at their job and be an asshole. And I'm not going to throw around names because that's just stupid to be witch hunting people over balanced decisions. The reality is, Arrowhead was somewhat familiar with online multiplayer with, Magicka and Helldivers 1. But a lot changed in the time span since they released their last game. And everything is saved now, like much more than it was in the past. Instantaneously, you post something, I screen cap that shit, I send it to my personal Discord sometimes immediately when something is said of value from, say, a community manager like Twinbeer or Baskinator, or Pildestat, the CCO, or like, or Sham says something, I'll save that shit immediately and it's off saved. Um, and I've posted on the Reddit, things like I posted before the game launched. I saved something Baskinator said about the basically what the dispatch system is now. I said, "Are we going to get these things that you're putting in the Discord in game?" And they said, "Well, yeah, of course." And well, now it's the dispatch system. We see that all the time. Every time you log in, you see all the dispatches for the game. Since then, they've tried to curtail people saying random stupid stuff. That helped. They've also had to deal with moderators and stupid people brigading over non-game related issues, which frustrates me because when I come to the Helldivers Discord, I want to talk about Helldivers. I don't want to talk about your political beliefs. I don't want to talk about your inclusivity beliefs. I want to talk about the game. Like, I'm there for the game. I'm not here. I play games to escape. I'm not trying to deal with all the worldly issues that everybody wants to be extremely vocal about. I don't care. I get your crap out of here. Basically, that's how I feel. So I've joined other Discords like Low Sodium Helldivers. I'm on the Helldivers 2 subreddit as well, which is a little bit better than the official Helldivers subreddit. There's other communities out there that avoid that stuff and focus more on the game. Secondly, there was some balance decisions that kind of were all over the place. So the Railgun got nerfed, the Shield Pack got nerfed, and the Railgun had a bug that was allowing Bile Titans to die instantly on the PlayStation version, so people thought it was some god tier thing. And with a player base of half PC and half PS5 playing crossplay, and the Railgun eliminates the strongest enemy in the game at the time, it made it seem better than it was. So that just got fixed, and then it got nerfed, so the usability was high because it was bugged, and then it got nerfed, but it's in a fine spot now. It's been thus changed a little bit more. I think there was a lot of whining there because you're getting used to something that's broken and bugged. Second case, Generation 1 Eruptor. I think that is another overreaction from the community. It used the Airburst Strike's shrapnel effect to instantly kill enemies and players alike. That being said, I wish the Eruptor had a regular explosive damage that could knock down your teammates again, rather than just being a bolt action Jar Dominator. I wish it would have an AoE Ragdoll explosion again, because it was a risk versus reward gun because of that mechanic part of it, but the damage was too high. Once again, another blatant overreaction from the community, in my opinion. Next up, people freak out about the flamethrower, but they don't realize the flamethrower got a 50% DPS buff at some point, along with the HMG. So it was made better, and then it was made to be able to pierce through and kill chargers, and since then, it obviously got nerfed when it couldn't hit through armor plates, and now with this hotfix, it's bugged, so you can barely hit a charger in the butt. So that's like, there's going to be reworks. There's going to be buffs. There's going to be changes. It's something that needs to be changed. Whether I say nerf buff, I don't care. It needs to be changed. It needs to have usability. Right now, it has trouble with charger butts. You see here in Helldivers 1, these armored chargers don't have a butt weak spot. They're just armored, period. Which was terrifying. You had to sit there and do teamwork reloads all the time. We actually got a guy split up. One guy at the pack, one guy at the rockets in this video. So, obviously, Flamethrower needs a rework. And then there's like little things like there's a lot of ragdolling. And I feel like the version 1 of the Impaler that came out was very egregious and very bad. The new Scout rockets are really bad for ragdolling. The other misstep that I want to say, and then once again, another one they're working on actively that is a valid concern of mine, is performance. After the balance patch, there was a big performance degradation that has been recently fixed to a larger degree. On many missions, I was CPU locked hard locked on my CPU. And I was dropping down to 40 FPS with 5 gigahertz CPU, and it was disheartening because I'm running Helldivers optimized settings from the YouTube guide. I have that pinned to my Discord. It was not running great, and it's a lot better in this hotfix. It's way more playable, a lot less slowdowns. They're always working on crashes. They're always working on performance. There was a drop crash before the last couple of hotfixes that was really bad. I was trying to start up an operation, and I would just crash and drop, and they've worked on that thus far. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at now. I want to talk about where Helldivers is headed. First off, they have a clear intent to support this game for a while. And when we look at, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so sorry if I butcher it, Pildestat, Pile, whatever. I saw an expo of something he was in where he's doing a slideshow of like, they have a toy chest of things they developed for the game that they pull out of and they need to restock it. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of theory crafting. There's a lot of experimental stuff within their own studio, stuff they develop for the game, ideas they have, and they're flexible to new ideas. And the fact that they ask the community, hey, we realize you don't like being capped on resources and you like progression. How else can we add some things for progression? So they don't give any definitive answers right now because it's stuff they're working on or thinking about working on or theory crafting on. But they are listening to what we want and how to keep the game relevant and fun. And I know the populations are lower right now. I know the performance has some issues, and I know the balance has some sour spots. I think right now, and all this happened. Basically, these people worked in this game for 8 years. So there's been this off and on, probably more heated near the end years development, and they all took a cascading vacation, probably well needed, and having the team be a smaller team that needs to push out the warbond, I do believe the fire weapons were changed from a piercing effect to a particle effect, like a projectile, just due to the fact that it was the cheapest and dirtiest way to make it so that the primary flamers wouldn't pierce through and kill chargers instantly, which would break their version of the balance on the bug front. I do believe that's why the fire looks like poop, and that effect looks like crap. Hopefully, that's the biggest thing for me. Bring back the particle effects. I really want that back. But once again, these are all things that I'm realistic about. I don't think I'm being butthurt about the development of the game. I don't think I'm giving it an unfair chance. I am a gigantic fan of the game. Let's see how long this video is, because I was trying not to ramble for too long. I'm an enormous fan of the game, and I have vinyls on my truck of Helldivers 2, and if you see me running, try to keep up. Eagle 500, I've got skulls. My other ride is a Hellpod. God damn it, I keep doing that. I got For Democracy. I got the Super Earth logo. I mean, I got all sorts of stuff in my truck. My license plate is my username. I'm pretty much a huge fan, and I knew before this game came out that I would be removing myself from the Blindside community to come play Helldivers. I knew that was a part of my plan because I need a good fallback game. I need something less toxic, and Helldivers 2 is a very co-op and, for the most part, non-toxic game. Occasionally, you hate your teammates because they're idiots, but you can only be so toxic because if you're toxic all the time, well, you're not going to get in that group again. It's not going to happen. The idea is to have fun and tell stories and kill stuff and fight for Super Earth. So I think there's a lot more in store from Arrowhead. I think that people need to give this game a chance. They need to realize that these developers are far from done yet. They're getting help from PlayStation. They've got new ideas. They're getting people together and gathered, and they have passionate and funny developers. Their sense of humor has not changed. But knowing their balance stuff is all over the place, even in the first game, you're going to see highs and lows. And whether or not they try to change that is yet to be determined. And I think people make way too much of a big deal about balance because they want this game to be hard. If you looked at the first game, it was impossible. High level was impossible. Now, there's no effing way that the casual developers of Helldivers 1 were playing difficulty 15 in Helldivers. The high end of the game is like a myriad of like trying to cheese things and tactically drop your anti-tank perfectly. It's absolutely ridiculously impossible. So the high end is always going to be kind of weird and skewed, and I don't feel like they balance the game around the high end. I really don't, which means things are going to feel a little bit weak the higher up you go. I feel like it's more balanced for a mid to high difficulty rather than a max difficulty scenario. But we shall see what they have in store for us, and there's going to be a huge population boon, obviously, when big patches drop. When the Illuminate drops, a lot of people own this game. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for many years. They supported Helldivers 1 for quite a while. So, ultimately, you definitely got to give Arrowhead a chance to cook, and people are going to be quick to judge and not realize that game development moves at a speed that is a lot slower than what you expect. And people say, oh, we gave them 6 months. Yes, and they added a bunch of shit to the game in those 6 months. So, I've played a lot of Helldivers 2. I've only played like 200 hours of Helldivers 1. I'm up to 700 hours on Helldivers 2. and I continue to make videos, and I don't make a lot. Like, this is a big month for me. I made like $500 off of YouTube, and that's huge for me. And I gained a crap ton of subscribers over like, what's this like? Where can I see this at? Like the last 90 days. So it just started spiking up, and this is from Escalation of Freedom and me posting thumbnails and getting algorithmed a little bit. And I appreciate this because this number here is what I was at before I quit playing Planetside. Because when you look at like 365 days, right here, this chart, this is the last year. I wasn't posting anything. I was losing subscribers and losing subscribers. Helldivers came out. This is February 8th. And I gained a bunch. And then I started playing solo sometime around this time. It started going back down. And once I started having a group and Escalation of Freedom came out, I ended up gaining like 500 subscribers instantly. So it's been a journey and a trip for me. And I am really planning to stick with the game in the long term. So yes, you're going to see other stuff on my channel. You're going to see RimWorld. You're going to see maybe Fallout New London. I might revisit my Minecraft playthrough. My solo off games are specifically there for when I have burnout, because I don't want to burn out just trying to do 5 dives a day of videos every single day. I know I post a lot of shit. I try to organize the ones that I want people to see into the Crazy Helldives playlist, but there's now a bunch of them in there as well. So you can expect to see, always have something to watch, always have some long form content to watch, whether it be my commentary or the commentary of my group. That's really my goal. My goal is to stick with Helldivers through thick and thin, and I know there's a lot of stuff coming along the way. There are good people, there are good ideas, there's good creativity, and I think these little issues that were, there's issues of the past, like dev communication, the server issues, eventually crashing issues will become less and less, performance will become less and less of a problem. Hopefully, they'll tweak balance so that the crybaby casual players who don't know how to use other stratagems will learn to adapt and grab some more stratagems that are less, what do you want to call it? Gen Z terms, less mid. Grab some good stratagems. I think some of the stuff just needs to be tweaked so it's not as buggy. So sights being proper and the flamethrower actually having hit detection on charger butts, because I posted a video of that bug where it just does not work anymore unless you hit the tail of a charger. Stuff like that. You know, it's real obvious glaring flaws that can be easily mended. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens and what comes of the game. But right now, it is definitely a low point, and it will reflect in the population. Hopefully, the next patch slaps so that we get a bunch of people back and go, oh my god, sweet, we can get back to what we were doing. At the same time, my biggest thing, I want performance and I want progression. I want the game to run good and I want to have a reason to play it. And if I do that, I'll do anything in the game world. I'll be with whatever stratagem, with whatever loadout. So this is me signing out. This is a little bit of story time, a little bit of like what I actually feel. I do enjoy playing the game. And when I don't, I just go take a break. You know, it's a realistic thing to do as a gamer. You can't just be a one-trick pony. Eventually, you'll get burnt out. Unless you have a good, really good reason to play. Right now, I am taking a little bit of a break, but I'm still, like I said, I haven't even in my Discord today. Like, I need to do some dives. I don't have any videos to post, so much of a break. It's to continue on to fight all the time. So, peace out, guys. Thanks for all the views. I will continue to play a bunch of Helldivers. I'm going to play some more Fallout London probably as well, if I can't get anybody to go on. But this huge amount of subscriber gain that I've gotten has been so nice lately, and this also allows me to do this for longer, because on a very serious personal note, not doing too great in the real life situation, so this extra $500 is actually astonishingly important to me, which is kind of ridiculous to say, and usually people don't divulge into that, but it means a lot. It means a lot, and I like to share, and I like to have people have something to watch as far as like long form gameplay with cooperative banter. That is the goal of this channel, and you expect to see more of that.